The movie Precious is in theaters now, and it's based on the novel Push by Sapphire, which tells the story of a teen who endures unimaginable hardships and abuse in her young life, and in the case of art imitating life and vice versa. This Bronx organization, where many scenes of the movie were shot, has seen and helped many of our local youths with their own precious story. Also, they're not just helping citizens anymore, and advice isn't the only thing they offer. Here to tell us about their programs, being a part of this movie, and their name is Development Director of the BronxWorks, is Ken Small. He's going to tell us all about this movie. Hey, Ken, you know.
It's good to see you again, Bob.
Nice to see you, too. Not only did the organization act as a host for the film, but you also provided similar, if not the same, services to children like Precious, as seen in the film. Tell us more about that.
Well, it was interesting to actually have Lee Daniels come to the Bronx and to shoot scenes for the movie Precious at the BronxWorks Community Center, because so much of what was in that movie represents what we as an organization do each day in terms of working with young people, in terms of working with families, in terms of reconnecting people who often see themselves as being disconnected, disenfranchised, and lacking hope.
What threw me off just a little bit in there is that you changed the name, you have a new name?
We did have a name change, and on Friday, November 13th, it's been a little more than a month now, what had been the Citizens Advice Bureau is now BronxWorks. If you've seen the movie Precious,
that's what it is.
You've probably seen towards the end of the movie a sign outside of our community center that says Citizens Advice Bureau. However, we have had a name change, and that's now been in effect for about a month.
It's BronxWorks.
BronxWorks.
It's BronxWorks, everybody. BronxWorks. Now we know, and we're going to let everybody know about it. All right. Many of the case histories you had are like the Precious, right?
Precious for us was not just a movie. Precious for us in many ways was the reality in terms of young people and families that we deal with on an everyday basis. The story in some ways I think might have been a little on the extreme side, but I think it brings home some very unfortunate realities that we as an organization and other organizations have to deal with on a regular basis. Young people who are disconnected, young people who don't get the kind of supports that they need from their families, and in many cases, young people who need a second chance in terms of educational opportunities.
So we have some major issues in our community. What are some of the other issues that our youth are facing?
I think the biggest issue that our young people face these days is a sense of hopelessness in terms of our future. The economy right now is facing a lot of challenges. A lot of young people are looking for ways to connect. Oftentimes, young people want to pursue higher educational opportunities, but the funding isn't there. We have a lot of young people who need caring adults in their lives, and the opportunities oftentimes aren't there.
So young people looking to pursue higher education, these young people that we're talking about are high school students?
Oftentimes, yes. We have a number of programs at BronxWorks that focus on reconnecting young people to opportunities. I think Precious, in many ways, the movie really exemplifies the fact that there are young people out there who need help, who need hope, who need opportunity. And at BronxWorks, we offer that help, we offer that hope, we offer that opportunity.
And Precious went through unimaginable hardships. Give us a quick synopsis of what the whole thing is about. And maybe don't tell us the whole thing because we want to entice some people to go see it.
Precious is a young lady who faces some serious obstacles in life. She's a victim of sexual abuse, which is an unfortunate reality facing many of our young people today, regardless of race, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of national origin, and surprisingly, regardless of gender. While 1 in 4 young ladies experiences sexual abuse, 1 in 6 young men experience sexual abuse as well. So it's an issue that cuts across a lot of lines.
And this is from within the family, not only within our community, but within the family.
Yes.
Mostly within the family.
Incest is a very, very serious issue. It's an issue that a lot of people don't talk about. It's a very tragic issue, but it's something that I think the film puts out there, and it is something that, albeit painful, I think we have to have conversations about.
Because a lot of that stuff doesn't come out until like later on in life, but it bothers the person throughout that person's life.
I think
it needs someone to talk to about it.
What was good about the character that Gabore Sidibe portrayed, Precious, was that she was able to find a caring adult, someone that she could confide in terms of talking about her situation, and being able to come to grips with it, and also to demonstrate a great deal of resiliency.
Yeah. And you recommend that in real life?
Obviously, yes. Yes.
And what about the authorities? Do you go to the authorities, or you just find somebody?
In situations like that, obviously you have to deal with organizations like the Administration for Children's Services. Had this not been a novel, had this really been a situation, obviously the police would have had to be involved as well. So there's a lot of work that would have to take place in terms of appropriate government agencies. But there's also work that needs to be done in terms of a healing process that would engage nonprofit organizations like BronxWorks, like Safe Horizon.
So you work two parts. You work the entertainment industry, but you're taking on real people.
Yes.
And a lot of people are coming to you with real issues.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And it was rather interesting that Lee Daniel chose to select our community center for this film, because he wanted a space that reflected much of what he wanted to show in the movie, as opposed to simply creating a Hollywood set. He wanted something that was real, and we were able to offer that to him in terms of our community center.
Do more people, upon seeing this, more people come to you with their situations and problems now?
I think what Precious has done for us as an organization and for other nonprofit providers is it's provided a forum for people to begin to talk about some very painful issues, the issues related to disconnected youth, families that are having problems in terms of staying intact, young people who seek opportunity, who need help, and are looking for a place where they can go. And I think in a very direct way, Lee Daniels has really done a lot in terms of putting some very painful issues on the table, issues that we all need to be talking about and perhaps doing more about.
Yeah. Well, you hear a lot of people like Oprah talking about some of the things in her past and what she's gone through. And a lot of, sometimes your friends come out, and sometimes you don't even know that, that this person has been going through that, living with this pain.
Yes.
Holding it inside for many, many years.
Yes. And I think for a lot of people, the movie served as an opportunity for them to begin to express that pain and to begin to seek the kind of help that they really need.
And to open up. Are you working with any other organizations in helping
in the context of young people who have been victims, like the young person portrayed in Precious? We do work with the Children's Aid Society. We do work with Safe Horizon. We do work with other institutions, other organizations that specialize with dealing with young people who have been domestic violence or incest victims.
And why is your organization unique?
I think what makes BronxWorks a unique organization is that we're in a position to offer many forms of assistance to an individual, to a family. We take a systems approach, a comprehensive approach to working with young people, to working with families, and we take a non-judgmental approach to working with situations. So as you may have seen in the movie, you've got Monique, you've got Gabore Sidibe. In many ways, both of those persons were victims. We don't make judgments, we just look to do the work.
Well, maybe we can get it here on BronxNet and play it. Is it playing yet? You gave it to them?
It's playing in theaters all over the country.
I don't want to put any. We can get some clips of it or something like that.
You can watch the trailer.
There you go. Okay. Now, what are some of the goals of your organization, BronxWorks?
BronxWorks has a number of long-term goals. We have a number of program-specific goals. And in terms of young people, the major goal that we have is to create opportunities for those for whom opportunities do not exist. We look to reconnect the disconnected. And we have a major focus on working with young people from the time they're literally preschoolers on through into the time that they're in the college years.
Good work. We love the work that you do, and it's always a pleasure to see you, too.
Same here.
All right.